Okay, we're going to go through setting up your vehicle, whether that be a Gator or four-wheeler, whatever, up to record boundaries. So to start with, the way a lot of guys do it is you have to put in a boundary offset to know how far from the center of the machine to where you want your boundary is. So what a lot of people do is they'll put it just over here to where the outside of the tire is where the boundary is. A lot of times that's hard to keep your outside tire right on the edge of the field, uh, especially around obstructions. And if it's a little wet and you're sliding a little bit, it's hard to keep it over there. So what I like to do is have something else stick out a little bit. I just kind of mock this up to show it'll, that way I have a chain that hangs down and for my point of reference, and I drive and keep that directly on top of where my field edge is. So it makes it a little easier to drive with. Plus, then it makes it a little easier for my safety rod also, because like on a planter, for instance, we have our planter here, and I've already measured this. I know from the center of our unit to the outside of our marker frame here is 30 inches. So if you're running boundary track or running auto path from boundary, the way it will generate your guidance line is, for instance, if you have a 60-foot planter, it's going to create that guidance line 30 feet in from your boundary. So that puts your outside row unit 15 inches inside your field edge. So doing the quick math, obviously you've got another 15 inches of frame here that's going to stick out past where your boundary was at. Okay, so if you do that, and then you're going along and come up on a fence, tree, going around telephone poles and stuff, to get the clearance to stay away and not hit anything, you have to have a little bit extra there. So I've got this right here set to where I've got 15 or 18 inches of extra rod sticking out there, so I know when I'm going around obstructions, as long as this doesn't touch anything, I know I'm going to clear. Okay, so now we're going to get in the cab, get our stuff set up in here. There's a few things that I cheat the numbers on a little bit just to make it easier to record. So we're going to start out setting up our offsets on our Gator. So hit our menu button, or our setup button, sorry. Go to vehicle, then click on the pencil button. So on our GPS offsets, so our lateral offset, you want that at 0 because our receiver is mounted right in the center of the cab. So you don't want to mix that one up with your boundary offset. And then next one down is our GPS inline offset. So that one should be from our GPS position to our rear axle. So this is the one that I cheat, and I put that at my rear axle up to where I'm recording my boundary, where my chain's at. That way I'm recording off the front side at that point instead of right in the middle of the cab. So if you put it right, this one should actually measure at 27 inches from where it's positioned at. If I had it there, that's where it's going to record my boundary at in my corners. So if I pull up in a corner, especially if there's a fence there, you can't always get all the way up into the corner with that receiver at that point. So what I like to do is I can pull up there to the corner and have that chain. Once that chain's in the corner, I can pause, back up, turn, and then resume once I'm turned back around and get my corners squared off the way they should be. So that's the reason I do that away. Then the next one down is our GPS height, and that's just where the green and the yellow part of the receiver meet, and measure that to the ground. Gonna hit save, and then okay again, and then this page here is what I like to run when I'm recording boundaries, because I've got my client farm field here, easy to find, got a map in the middle, and then when you're driving around the field with no crop or anything standing in it. It's easy to find all the things you need to clean up and fix. So I got my flags over here on the right side. So then when we're ready to record one, we hit our boundary button. I added it to a shortcut down here at the bottom. Hit create driven boundary. Hit OK. And then this is where you'll put in your boundary offset. So it's already in here for this one. Sometimes it saves this from key cycle to key cycle, other times it may not. So always double check it before you take off recording. So I know mine is from the center of my cab to my chain out there is 5 feet. It's on the left side. So I'll get where I'm going to start at, hit OK, and then drive around and record my boundary. Hopefully that helps, makes it a little easier to get your boundaries recorded and get your machine set up. Thanks.